Our first game of the day will feature the visiting team on the scoreboard, the Otis-Bison Cougars, versus the home team on the scoreboard, the Skyline Thunderbirds. Activity programs at Kiowa County High School are primarily for the student participants. We are pleased to host our kids from Otis-Bison and Skyline this afternoon. This competition is being conducted according to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Coaches, players, cheerleaders, and spectators are expected to assist in the promotion and achievement of good sportsmanship. At this time, would everyone please rise, remove your headgear, and face the flag for the playing of our national anthem. Starting lineups. First, for the visiting Otis-Bison Cougars, a 5'7" junior, number 1, Hope Lumpkins. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'10" sophomore, number 2, Ashley Speaks. For the Cougars, a 5'9" sophomore, number 2, Zoe Schwent. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'9" sophomore, number 3, Riley Ackerman. For the Cougars, a 5'11" senior, number 14, Macy Wilsey. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'6" senior, number 5, Katie Anschutz. For the Cougars, a 5'7" junior, number 24, Abigail Rodriguez. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'6" sophomore, number 23, Corey Anschutz. And finally, for the Cougars, a 5'7" junior, number 43, Marissa Reaver. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'3" senior, number 25, Allie Young. Cougars will be coached this afternoon by Jade Winters, who will be assisted by Stan Healy. The Thunderbirds will be coached this afternoon by Chris Sanders, who will be assisted by Stephen Napapi. Good luck to both teams.
Welcome back, everybody, to the Otis-Bison Cougar broadcast. Today we are back in beautiful Kiowa County at Greensburg. Today we'll be playing against the Skyline Thunderbirds. Up for your Thunderbirds will be number 2, that's the new roster, Riley Ackerman.
With the tip-off over to the Cougars, Abigail Rodriguez throws over to Hope Lumpkin, number 1 at the close corner, going into the low post. Ball goes out of bounds. And it will remain with the Cougars. Number 2, Zoe Schwint throwing the ball in. Gonna throw it over to Macy at the low post. Going in for 2, no good. Zoe Schwint with the rebound, but his ball is stolen from her hands and jump ball is called.
Skyline taking the ball now back down the court slowly with the ball number 5, Katie and shots. Number 23 has the ball now at the high post. She puts it up for 2, no good. Otis-Bison steals the ball.
Ball's handed off to Abigail Rodriguez, making her way back to the Cougar side. Gonna throw over to Macy at the far wing. Macy's gonna dribble it over to Hope Lumpkin at the top of the key. Now over to Marissa at the close wing. Back over to Zoe at the top of the key now. She's gonna throw it back to Macy at the far wing, going into the high post. Ball is stolen.
Number 5 has it for the Thunderbirds. Now over to 23 at the top of the key. Over to 3 at the close wing. Dribbling it down to the high post. Over to now number 5 back out at the top of the key. She runs in for it. Puts it up for 2, and it's good.
Cougars with the ball now. Number 24, Abigail Rodriguez throws it into Hope. Back to Abby, making her way back down to the Cougar side. Abby's going to throw over to Zoe at the close wing. Going to go into the low post. Going in for 2. Puts it up, and it's good.
That game. Now number 23, Corey Shots, dribbling the ball down the side of the court. Over down to 5. Katie. She dribbles it down and passes it over to 2 at the far wing. She now passes it to 5 at the close corner. She puts it up for 3, no good. Otis-Bison steals the ball.
Zoe getting the ball, throwing over to number 24, Abigail, bringing it back down to the Cougar side. Going in from the high post. Little struggle for the ball. Jump ball is called. Cougars will keep the ball. Number 2, Zoe Schwint throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Thrown into number 14, Macy at the about mid-post. Going in for 2. Stopped by the Thunderbirds. White number 5 was caught slashing. Macy will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougar team. Her first shot is up. Just barely missing. Macy will have one more opportunity for another point for the Cougars. Ball is up. Second shot is good for a Cougar point.
Skyline has the ball now. Number 5, Katie and Shots with the ball. Dribbling it down to the top of the key. Over to 2 at the far wing. She dribbles it into the low post. Blocked by the Cougars. Back out to 5 at the far wing. Now dribbling it in. Now over to 3 at the close corner. She puts it up for 3, and it's good.
Zoe Schwint throwing the ball over to Abby, making her way back down to the Cougar side near the close end of the court. Going into the close wing. Now back over to Macy at the close corner. Going to throw it into Zoe at the low post, but there is a call on the court. White number 3 was caught pushing. Zoe Schwinn will be throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Ball makes its way over to Macy, and there's a call again. White number 5 was caught pushing. That'll be Katie Anschutz. Zoe Schwinn throwing the ball in over to 24. Abigail putting it up for 2, no good. Point.
Skyline with the ball. Number 25, I believe, has it. 23, my bad. She passed it over to number 1. Now over to number 2 at the far wing. Passing it to number 25 at the low post. Puts it up for 2, no good. Cougars steal the ball.
Zoe Schwinn with the rebound, getting it over to Abigail, making her way back to the Cougar side on the far end. Throwing it over to Macy at the far corner. Macy making her way going to the top of the key. Got to bring it over to Marissa. Marissa going to bring it back to the top of the key. Now over to Hope Lumpkin at the far wing. Now over to Zoe, also at the far wing. Zoe's going to dribble it around, going to the high post. Throwing it back out to Marissa at the close wing. Going to check it across to the far wing where Hope Lumpkin is. Now over to number 24, Abigail at the top of the key. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Cougars. Number 14, Macy Wilsey throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Ball is in over to Abigail. She's going to then throw it over to Hope. Ball is stolen.
25 for Skyline has it. Now over to 2 at the close wing. She dribbles it into the mid post, puts it up for 2, no good. Cougars steal the ball.
Hope with the rebound, gonna get it over to Abby, making her way back though, throwing the ball over to Marissa. That's Macy out the far corner with the ball, throwing it over to Zoe. Ball is back to Abby, over to Hope. Now to Abby at the low post, going up for 2, and it's good.
Number 10 for Skyline has it now. Sarah Rise. She passes it over to number 2, Ashley Space. Now passing over to 23 at the top of the key. She tries to double it in. Call on the court.
Caught traveling. Number 24, Abigail, throws the ball in over to Hope. Now back to Abby, making her way back to the Cougar side. Going to the top of the key, going to throw it over to Macy. Back over to Abby at the low post, going in for 2, no good. Abby with the rebound, going to the far or close corner. Throwing it over to Hope at the low post, going in for 2, no good. Zoe with the rebound again, putting it up for 2, also not good. There's a call on the court against the Cougars. Blue number 1, Hope Lumpkin, was caught pushing.
Skyline now with the ball. Now over to 2 at the far corner. Over to 23 at the top of the key. She dribbles it around, ends up at the high post. Over to 10 to the far wing. Back over to 23 at the top of the key. Now over to 1. She goes up to the high post. She puts it up for 2, no good. Cougars with the rebound.
Zoe Schwinn getting the ball, going to bring it over to Abigail, making her way back to the Cougar side, going about mid center of the court, throwing it over to Hope at the close wing. Now the ball with Macy at the low post, going for 2, no good. Macy with the rebound, putting it up again, also no good.
Skyline struggling for the ball, tries to push it clear down the court, almost losing it. Number 10 has it at the far wing. Now over to 23 at the top of the key. Now over to 2 at the close wing. Ashley taking it up to the top of the key. Over to 25. Now over to 10 at the far wing.
Number 14, Macy Wilsey, was caught slashing. Macy Wilsey steals the ball from Skyline, bringing it back down to the low post, put it up for 2. No good, but she was caught double dribbling. Turnover to the Thunderbirds.
A little bit of a switch out for some players. Number 5 will have it for Skyline. Katie Anshots. She hucks it clear down to number 10 to the far corner. Over to 1 at the top of the key. Over to 3 at the close wing. Now over, she dribbles it into the high post, tries to put it up for 2, no good. Cougars now with the ball.
Macy getting the ball back over to Abigail, making her way back to the Cougar side. Going to the close end now. Gonna throw it in over to Macy. Ball goes over her head and goes out of bounds. Ball would be turned over to the Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds now bringing the ball down the center of the court. Number 5 has it, now at the high post. Over to 3 at the close corner. She puts it up for 3, and it's good.
Hope Lumpkin with the ball now, get it over to Abby. Abby's going to make her way back to the Cougar side with a slow pace. Speeding it up, bringing it over to the close wing. She's going to throw it to the top of the key where Hope Lumpkin is. Almost stolen. Back to Abby at the close wing. Abby's going to throw it over to Macy at the far close corner, going in for 3, just barely missing. Zoe Schwinn trying to rebound it, but it's no good. Jump ball is called on the court, and it will remain with the Cougars. Scratch that, it will be turned over to the Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds now with the ball. Number 5 has it. She dribbles it down the far side of the court, ends up at the far wing. Now over to 1 at the top of the key. She dribbles it into the low post, tries to put it up for 2, no good. And a travel is called. I'll give to the Cougars the ball.
Number 24, Abby throwing it over to Hope. Now back to Abby, making her way back to the Cougars side. Going to throw it over to the Macy at the far wing, now over to Marissa Reaver at the far corner. Going to bring it back over to Abby at the far wing. Abby trying to find her options. Going to throw it over to Macy at the close wing. Macy's going to throw it in over to Abby, going in for 2. It's good. That is good for 2 points, and there's a call. White number 1 was caught pushing. Abigail will have the point. We'll have an opportunity for a point for the Cougars. Ball is up, and it's good for a Cougar point. Tie game.
Skyline bringing the ball down the center of the court. She tries, number 1 or 5 has it. She tries to put up for 2, rebounded by Skyline again, and it's good.
Abigail with the ball now, bringing it back down to the Cougar side. Going to throw it over to Macy. Macy's going to try to find her options, bringing it to the top of the key. Still trying to find it, going into the high post. Ball is stolen.
Skyline has the ball, I believe number 5 has it. She dribbles it to the low post, puts it up for 2, no good. Struggle for the ball. A little bit of a collision. And a jump ball is called. It'll be the Cougars' ball.
Number 2, Zoe Schmidt will be throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Ball makes its way over to Abigail, making her way down to the Cougar side. Going to speed up her pace, going to bring it over to the low post. There is a jump ball called. Turn over to the Thunderbirds.
Number 2 passes it in to number 5, Katie Anschutz, my bad. She dribbles up to the top of the key, now over to 1. She dribbles it down to the high post, up to 2 at the far wing. Now over to 5 at the close wing. She puts it up for 3, no good. Cougars with a stolen ball.
Macy having the ball. Macy trips over because, she was tripped, and then that is the buzzer. Your score is Thunderbirds 10, Cougars 8. Welcome back to the second quarter of the game. Cougars having the ball. Hope Lumpkin throwing it over to Abby, throwing it all the way over to Marissa Reaver, number 43. Back to Abby at the close wing. She's going to try to find her options, going to run it in. Going to throw it all the way over to Macy. Ball goes out of bounds against Skyline, and it will remain with the Cougars. Number 14, Macy Wilsey will be throwing the ball in. Over to number 2, Zoe Schwinn. Throwing it over to 43, Marissa. Going in for 2, no good. Macy with the rebound. Back to Macy, and there was pushing on the court against the Cougars. Turnover to the Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds now with the ball. Number 5 has it. Katie Anschutz, my bad. Now over to 23 in the close wing. Bringing it over to number 5, stolen by the Cougars.
Number 1, Hope Lumpkin with the steal, throwing it over to Macy. Ball is stolen back by the Thunderbirds.
Struggled by the ball, running around for it. 2 tries to get it. The ball will remain with Skyline. Number 5 on the court, running the ball down. Katie Anschutz. Now over to number 2 at the far wing. Pushing it over to 23 at the close wing. Almost going over her head. Up to 5 at the top of the key. Over to 23 at the close wing. Now over to 5 again. She puts it up for 3. It's short. Cougars get the ball.
Abigail bringing it back down to the Cougars side, about mid-center of the court. Going to bring it over to Macy. Now over to Zoe at the close corner, or low post.
Skyline now with the ball. Now over to 5 at the far wing. Over to 23 at the close wing. And a double dribble is called on Skyline. I believe that'll be on 23. Corey and shots.
Number 2, Zoe Schwintham, ball in over to number 24, Abigail Rodriguez, making her way. The ball goes over to Marissa, now over to Macy at the far wing. Back over to Hope at the top of the key, now over to Abby at the close wing. Abby's going to bring it in, dribble it around a little bit, going to throw it in over to Zoe Schmidt at the low post, puts it up for 2, no good, but there is pushing on the court. Falls against number 3, she was caught pushing for the Thunderbirds. That will be
Riley Ackerman.
Number 2, Zoe Schwinn having the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougars. First shot is up, no good. She'll have one more opportunity for another point. Ball is up. Second shot is good for a Cougar point.
Skyline now with the ball. 23 has it, dribbling it down the center of the court. Looking around, finds her options, finds number 1. Over to 23 once again. Now over to 2 at the far wing. She puts it up for, I believe, 2 that time. No good. Cougars with the rebound.
Number 24, Abby with the ball, bringing it back to the Cougars side. Almost a double dribble, but she gets it.
And Cougars call a timeout to save the ball. 5 minutes and 47 seconds left in the first half. Skyline Thunderbirds at 10, Cougars 9.
Your cheerleaders for tonight are Elena McVeigh, Bailey Filer, Emily George, and Nevaeh McVeigh. Both teams return to the court and get ready to play. Number 43, Marissa Reaver throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Ball goes over to Abigail, making her way back to the Cougars side. Over back to Marissa at the close wing. Now we're to Hope at the top of the key. Pushing is called against number 23. That will be number 23, Corey and shoots. Number 2, Zoe Schmidt throwing the ball in. Over to Abigail. Abigail's going to dribble around, throw it over to Macy at the far wing. Now over to Zoe Schmidt at the low post, put it up for 2. No good, barely missing.
Skyline now with the ball. 25 has it. Whistle is blown.
Number 24, Abigail was caught holding.
And that'll give the ball over to Skyline. Skyline number 5, I believe, has the ball. Katie Anshots. She throws it over to 23 at the close corner. Now up to 5 at the top of the key. Over to 1 at the far wing. Over to 5. Now over to 23 at the close wing. Now over to 5 again. She dribbles it into the high post. Stolen by the Cougars.
Macy steals the ball. Going to bring it over. Throwing it over to Abigail, making her way back down to the ball goes over, back over to Marissa, back over to Macy, now at the top of the key. Macy's going to dribble it around, going over to Hope also at the top of the key. Going to bring it over to Marissa Reaver at the close corner. Marissa's going to throw the ball over to Macy at the top of the key, over to Zoe Schmidt at the low post. No good.
Stolen by the Thunderbirds. Number 5 has it, dribbling it down the center of the court. Looking for some options, finds number 1 at the close wing. Back out to 5 at the top of the key now. Over to 23 at the far wing. Into number 3, but stolen by the Cougars. Fight for the ball, and it's a jump ball. Ball will remain with Skyline. Number 1 for Skyline will be throwing it in. I do not have her on my sheet. Out to number 23. She puts it up for 2. No good. Cougars with the rebound.
Macy getting the ball over to Abby, making her way back down to the Cougars side with some speed. Throwing it over to Marissa at the close wing, going in for 3. No good. Zoe Schwinn with the rebound. Throwing it back out to Macy, putting it up for 2. No good.
Run for the ball, and Skyline picks it up. Number 3, I believe, or 2. We'll have it back out to 2 at the top of the key. Over to number 1 at the close corner. Not my bad. Far corner. Back to 10 at the close wing. Up to 2 at the far wing. She dribbles it out. Puts it out to number 1 at the close corner. She gets caught traveling. That'll be a turnover to the Cougars.
Number 2, Zoe Schmidt throwing the ball in over to Abby, who's bringing the ball to the Cougars side. Going to throw it all the way down to Macy at the far corner. Now over to Hope at the far wing. Over to Marissa at the top of the key. Back over to Macy at the far wing. Over to Abby now at the top of the key. Going to throw it in over to Hope at the close wing. Throwing it back to the far wing where Marissa is. Going to throw it off over to Macy, also in that direction. Going to throw it across the court where Abby is, going in for 3. Just barely missing.
Skyline with the rebound. Number 10 has it. She dribbles it down the center of the court, passing it out to 23 at the far wing. She goes up to the high post. She passes to number 1 at the close wing. She puts it up for 3, no good. Struggle for the ball. Skyline ends up picking it up. Out to number 10 now at the top of the key. She tries to put it up for 3, no good. Cougars with the ball.
Abby getting the ball, bringing it back down to the Cougar side with a fast-paced movement. Throwing it up for 2, no good.
Whistle's blown. Skyline calls a timeout.
Full timeout, that will be. Both teams are turned to the court and get ready to play.
Skyline number 5 has it. Katie Anshots. She dribbles it down to the farther side of the court. Passing it over to 10 at the close side of the court. She dribbles it and pushes it over to 21 at the close corner. Now to 5 at the top of the key. She dribbles it to the mid post. Tries to put it up for 2. No good. Whistle's blowing. Not know what the penalty was over. First shot for number 5 is up. No good. And Katie Anshot will have one more try to get some points for Skyline. Her second shot is up. Bounces off the back of the rim. No good.
Zoe Schwinn with the rebound. Going to bring it over to Abigail, bringing it down to the Cougars side with some speed. Going to then throw it over to Marissa at the top of the key, making her way back over to Abby. Abby going to bring the ball back to the top of the key, going into the close wing. Ball is stolen, and there's a jump ball called. It will remain with the Cougars. Number 2, Zoe Schwinn throwing the ball in. Ball is thrown out to Abigail. Now back to Macy at the low post. Macy's going to throw it back over to Marissa and going in for 2. No good.
Skyline now with the ball. Number 23 has it at the farther side of the court. She passes it to 10 at the close wing. Back out to 23 at the far wing. Over to 10 now. Back to number 21 at the close wing. Over to 23 at the far wing. Over to 2 at the far corner. She dribbles it into the low post. A little bit of a fight for her ball. Out to 23. She puts it up for 2, and it's good.
Abigail with the ball now. We're going to bring it back down to the Cougars' side. Going to throw it over to Zoe at the top of the key. Or high post. Now Macy at the low post running for 2. No good.
23 for Skyline gets the rebound. Corey Ann shots. She puts it over to 10. 10 back over to 23 at the close wing. Going to the high post. Puts it up for 2. No good. Cougars now get with the ball.
There was pushing called against the Thunderbirds. Zoe Schulm will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougars. First shot is up. No good.
I'll give the Thunderbirds the ball. Thunderbirds passing the ball. Ends up with 23 for Skyline. Corey Ann shots. She dribbles it down to the closer side of the court. Over to 10 at the far side. Back to 23. Ball is almost aggressively stolen, and 23 accidentally travels. Ball is turned over to the Cougars.
Ball sorted in over to Abigail, making her way back to the Cougars' side. Now over to Macy at the far wing. We're going to throw it to Abby at the low post. Now back to Macy at the top of the key. Going in to bring it to Marissa at the low post. Back out to Macy at the close corner. No good. Marissa with the rebound. Put it up for 2. Also no good. There's a call on the court. Number 21 off for the Thunderbirds.
Corey and McComb
Was caught slashing. Marissa Reaver will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougars. First shot is up. No good. Marissa going in for a second shot. Second shot is good for a Cougar point.
Skyline now with the ball. 23 has it at the closer side of the court. Dribbling it now out to 10 at the far side. Tried to pass it in. Fight for the ball. Whistle's blown. Looks like number 2 for the Cougars will get a penalty. I'll give 23 at the baseline. Out to number 5 now at the midcourt line. She drills into the top of the key. Over to 10 to the close wing. Out to number 3, stolen by the Cougars.
Abby with the ball now. We're going to bring it back down to the Cougars' side. Thrown over to Mason at the low post. Put it up for 2. Just barely missing.
Skyline stealing the ball back. Going up for a layup. Puts it up for 2. No good. 10 seconds left in the first half.
Abby bringing the ball back down to Zoe. Put it up for 2. Just barely missing.
Skyline does a half-court shot. No good. That'll place the Cougars at 10. Skyline at 12 at halftime.
Be back in 10 minutes for the second half of the game. Welcome back, everyone, to the second half of the girls' varsity game versus the Skyline Thunderbirds. Skyline will be starting off with the ball this time for the third quarter.
Skyline will start out with the ball. 23 pushing it in at the half-court line. Out to number 5, back over to 23. She passes it over to 2 at the top of the key. Now over to 25 at the low post. Back out to 23, over to intended for 3 at the close wing. Gets by her fingers and out of bounds.
Number two, Zoe Schwinn throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Over to Macy. Well, Macy will bring it over to the Cougar side of the court. Ball is stolen.
That looks like number 5 will do a layup, and it's good.
Macy will be throwing the ball back in for the Cougars. Over to number 2, Zoe Schwinn. Zoe's going to run it down on the close side of the court, going to then throw it back over to Macy, bringing it over to the Cougar side. Macy going to try to bring it in over to Marissa at the low post. Just barely misses her hands and goes out of bounds. Turn over to the Thunderbirds.
23 will be bringing it down for the Thunderbirds. She goes and dribbles it down to the farther side of the court. Over to 2 at the close wing. Up to the top of the key. Now over to 23 at the far wing. And Cougars steal the ball.
Macy getting it, bring it over to Abigail. Going to throw it back over to Marissa at the far wing. Going to bring it over now to Hope at the far corner. Hope's going to try to find her options. Throw it over to Marissa. Now over to Zoe at the top of the key. Going to throw it over to Macy at the low post. Just ball barely missing her hands and going out of bounds. Turnover to the Thunderbirds.
23 will take it. She dribbles it down to the farther side of the court. Back over to 2. 2 has it. Now over to 3 at the close corner. Now over to 23 at the top of the key. She tries to go to the high post. Ball is, there looks to be a little bit of a struggle, and a jump ball is called. Cougars will get the ball.
Number 14, Macy Wellesley throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Going over to Hope, back to Macy. Macy's going to now throw it over to Abby. Going to bring the ball over to the Cougars side. Now throw it over to Zoe at the close corner. Now over to Macy at the low post. Going to try to throw it up for 2. No good.
Skyline stealing the ball. Number 2 will have it at the closer side of the court. She brings it up to the top of the key. Over to 23 at the far wing. Back over to 2. 2 dribbling it down to the low post. Goes up for 2. No good. Push called on Cougars. White 14, blue 14, Macy Wiltsey will be, who the call is on. Number 2 will put up her first shot. Her second free throw. It's up. Bounces off the back of the rim, no good. Cougars with the rebound.
Macy getting the ball. She's going to throw it over to Marissa, bringing it back to the Cougar side on the far end. Going to throw it over to Macy at the top of the key. Now back over to Abby at the close wing. Abby's going to run up to the top of the key. Now throw it back over to Marissa near the low post. Going to throw it in over to Zoe. Put it up for 2. No good.
The Skyline Thunderbirds will try to go a little too quick, bringing the ball down the court, and ends out of bounds.
Number 2, timeout is called on the Cougars. Full timeout. Five minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. In the second half. Both teams return to the court and get ready to play. Cougars will still have the ball. Number 2, Zoe Schmidt, throwing the ball in over to Abigail. Up traveling is called on Abby. Turn over to the Skyline Thunderbirds.
Skyline now with the ball. Number 23 has it at the top of the key. Over to 2 at the far wing. She dribbles into the high post, pushes it out to number 3 at the far corner. She puts it up for 3, no good. Skyline with the rebound. Ball ends up with number 5 at the high post. She tries to put up for 2. Call on the Cougars. Skyline putting up their second free throw. It's up, no good. Fight for the ball. It's out of the court, and I'll give the Cougars the ball.
Number 14, Macy will be going in. Macy throwing the ball in. Going to throw it over to Zoe. Zoe's going to bring the ball over to Macy at the top of the key. Now back over to Zoe Schwinn. Ball stolen.
Number 5 has it for Skyline. She dribbles it down to the center of the court. Over to number 2 at the far wing. Now over to 1 at the close wing. Back over to number 2. Dribbling it around, does some fancy footwork, ends up the high post, tries to put up for 2.
Number 24, Abigail having the ball, bring it back down to the Cougar side of the court. Now back over to 43, Marissa at the far wing. Now over to Macy at the top of the key. Going to throw it over to number 20, Grace, throwing in for 2. Barely missing.
Fight for the ball. And looks like Macy Wiltsey will be getting a foul. I'll give the ball over to Skyline. Number 2 has it for Skyline. She dribbles it down to the farther side of the court. Passing it over to number 2 at the close wing. Now over to number 2. Nope. Passing the ball around. Over back to 2 at the top of the at the high post. My bad. She puts it up for 2. No good. Now over to the Cougars.
Abby having the ball, bring it back down to the Cougar side with some speed. Going to throw it over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin, going in for 3 points, just barely missing. Grace with the recover, with the rebound. Call on the court, though, and it will be turned over to the Thunderbirds.
Number 2 has it for the Thunderbirds. Ashley Spence. She'll be dribbling down to the farther side of the court. Out to 21 at the far corner. Over to 1 at the mid-court line. Now over to number 3 at the close corner. Over to 2 at the top, at the high post, my bad. Over to 21 at the low post. She tries to put up for 2. Cougars block it. And a whistle's blown. Blue number 2, Zoe Schwint, will be the fouler. Number 21 puts up her first free throw and is no good. Jody puts up her second free throw. It's no good. Struggle for the ball. And a jump ball is called.
Number 1, Hope Lumpkin, will be throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Ball thrown over to number 2, Zoe Schwinn is going to bring the ball over to the Cougars side of the court. Zoe making her way. Oh, there was a call on the court. Number 1 for the Thunderbirds was caught holding. Number 2, Zoe Schwint will be throwing the ball in for the Cougars again. Ball goes over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin. Gonna make her way. Gonna bring the ball to the over to Abby.
Stolen by Skyline. 23 has it now, dribbling it down the closer side of the court. Brings it to the top of the key. Over to 1 at the far wing. Over to 23 once again. Now at the midcourt line. Over to 5 at the high post. Dribbling it around. Tries to find some options. Finds number 10 at the high post. Stolen by the Cougars.
Abby with the ball now, bring it back to the Cougars side. Throwing it over to Zoe Schwinn at the far wing. Going in for 2. No good.
Skyline has it. Number 1. Dribbling it down the center of the court. Now over to number 23 at the far wing. Over to 21 at the far corner. Over to the 23 again. Back over to 1 at the top of the key. Over to 23. Now over to number 10 at the close corner. Now over to 1. A little struggle with the ball. Over to 23 at the far wing. Over to 5. She puts it up for 3. Bounces off the front of the rim. No good. 10 tries to get the rebound, but ends up pushing the ball out of bounds. Otis-Bison with the ball.
Abby's going to chuck the ball over to Marissa, bringing it back to the Cougars side. Now she's going to throw it over to Grace. Going in for 2. Good for 2 points for the Cougars.
Skyline with the ball once again. 23 has it, dribbling it down the center of the court. Now over to 5 at the far wing. Stolen by the Cougars once again.
Grace getting the ball back down to the Cougars side. Thrown over to Hope, put it up for 2. Barely missing.
Struggle for the ball. And a
jump ball is called. Turn over to the Thunderbirds.
Number 2 has the ball. Dribbling it down the closer side of the court. Ashley pushes it over to number 23, Corey. Now over to 2. 2 at the close wing. She dribbles it down to the close corner. Out to 23 at the top of the key. She puts it up for 3. Bounces off the back of the rim and no good. Ball is fought for. Recovered by number 2 for the Thunderbirds. And she puts it up for 2 and it's good.
Abby's going to throw the ball over to Marissa, bringing it back down to the Cougar side. Now going to throw it back over to number 2, Zoe Schwinn at the low post. Put it up for 2. No good.
Thunderbirds now with the ball. Number 2 has it, Ashley Spency. She pushes it over to number 23 at the close wing. Now at the high post, over to number 2 or 3, I believe, at the far wing. She puts it up for 2, and it's good.
Timeout is called on by Skyline.
With 51 seconds left in the third quarter, your score is Cougars 12, Thunderbirds 20.
Both teams return to the court and get ready to play for the remainder 51 seconds. Abby throws the ball in over to Marissa. Marissa's going to throw it over to Hope, going into the Cougar side now. Throw it all the way over to Zoe Schwinn going towards the low post. Going to bring it up for 2. No good. Struggle for the ball. It will remain with the Cougars. Number 2, Zoe Schwint will be throwing the ball in. Over to Hope. Back over to Zoe at the low post. Puts it up for 2. No good. Abby gets the rebound. Call on the court. Number 21 for the Thunderbirds was caught slashing.
That'll be Cody McComb.
So Zoe Schwint throwing the ball in. Throws it all the way over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin. Gonna bring it back to the Cougar side. Throwing it all the way back over to Marissa at the far corner. Marissa's gonna throw it over to Zoe. Struggle for the ball. Jump ball is called. Skyline gets it.
Number 23 for Skyline will have it. Over to number 2 at the close wing, my bad. Dribbling around, finds number 5 at the the high post. Puts it over to 3 at the far corner. She puts it up for 3, no good. Struggle for the ball. And that is the third quarter.
The final score for the third quarter is Skyline 20, Otis-Bison 12.
Oh, look at that. Press Chase. Okay. You got it.
Welcome back to the final quarter of the game. Cougars having the ball over to number 21, Leela Kenyon. Run to the low post. Call on the court.
Call, I believe, will be on number 25 for the Thunderbirds. That'll be Haley Young.
Leela will have the opportunity for a point or two for the Cougars. Ball is up. First shot is good for a Cougar point. Leela's second shot is up, and it is no good.
Skyline now with the ball. Number 23 has it. Corey Anshot. She pushes it over to number 2 at the far wing. Dribbling it down. Now back out to 3 at the far corner. Now out to 23 at the top of the key. Dribbling around. Finds her options. Looks over to number 2 and sends it to her at the top of the key. Over to 23 at the close wing. She puts it up for 3. Bounces in and out of the rim. No good. 23 gets the rebound. Bounces out again. And a whistle is blown. White number 5 will be caught pushing. That'll be Katie Anshot. Shoots, my bad. And Katie Anshoots.
Number 24, Abigail, will be throwing the ball in. Over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin. Back to Abby, making her way back down to the Cougar side. Ball goes over to Leela, but just slips out of her hand and goes out of bounds. Throw it over to Skyline.
Skyline has the ball. Number 23 brings it back down to the Thunderbird side of the court. My bad. Now over to 2 at the far wing. Over to number 5 at the high post. Back over to 23 at the close corner. Up for 3, no good. Running for the ball. Over to 5 now at the far corner. She puts it up for 3, no good. Ball rolls out of the court. It'll be Cougars ball.
Number 14, Macy will be throwing the ball in. Over to number 1, Hope. Back to Macy. Now over to Abby. Abby's going to make her way back down to the Cougars side. Find herself throwing the ball over to Grace. Now back over to Macy near the high post. Now back to Leela down at the low post. Call on the court. Number 25 was caught pushing.
Now it'll be Haley Young again.
Leela will have the opportunity for a point or two for the Cougars. First shot is up. No good. She'll have one more opportunity. Second shot is up. No good.
Skyline now with the ball. Number 2 has it. Ashley bringing it down the center of the court. She brings it to the top of the key. Looks around, finds 23 at the far wing. Now to number 5. Back over to 23. She's now at the top of the key. Now finds number 2 at the close corner. She tries to put up for 2. White 25 gets another foul. I'll bring the ball over to the Cougars.
Macy Wilsey throwing the ball in over to number 20, Grace Smith, making her way back down to the Cougars side. Number 23 for the Thunderbirds, that knocks the ball out of bounds. Macy throwing it back in over to Hope, making her way back down to the Cougar side. Back to Macy, now to Grace, here at the top of the key. Grace is going in to bring the ball over to Abigail at the far wing. Back to Hope at the top of the key. Hope's going in, bring it back to Abby. Now to Macy at the top of the key. Over to Grace, stolen by the Thunderbirds.
Number 3 for the Thunderbirds, Corey Anschutz, steals the ball from the Cougars, runs down the court, tries to put up for 2, no good, I believe. That foul was called on the Cougars. I'll give Corey a couple of shots at the free throw line. Her first shot is up, bounces off the back of the rim, no good. Cougars now with the ball.
Leela getting the ball, bringing it back over to Hope, going down to the Cougars side. Hope bringing some speed, they'll throw it over to Macy, now over to Abby, slips out of her hands and goes out of bounds.
One throws it into number 23, Corey. She'll bring it down the closer side of the court. 23 now at the midcourt line. Over to 2 at the high post. She dribbles it into the low post. Tries to put it up for 2. No good. Struggle for the ball. 23 ends up with it at the far wing. Now over to 10 to the close wing. She puts it up for 2. No good. Fight for the ball. Leela Kenyon ends up with it.
Ball is handed off to Abigail, making her way down to the Cougars side with some speed. Gonna throw it over to Grace at the far wing. Hope Grace is going in. Traveling is called on Grace.
That'll give the ball over to the Thunderbirds. Thunderbirds in number 1 will be dribbling it down to the farther side of the court. Now at the midcourt line. Looks around, finds number 10 at the close wing. Now back over to 1 at the far wing. Back over to 5 at the high post. She travels out and pushes it out to number 2 at the far corner. She puts it up for 3, no good. Cougars with the rebound.
Abby with getting the ball now, going to bring it down to the Cougars side, going to the high post, going to bring it over to Hope at the close corner. Now over to Leela at the low post, trying to put up for 2, no good.
Skyline with the rebound. Foul is called on the Cougars, I believe. Number 21, Leela Kenyon. Number 5 will be dribbling the ball down on the court. Back over to 1. Now over to 10 to the close wing. Slips off her fingertips. Rolls out of the court. But it'll be on the Cougars. Oh, Skyline with the ball. Number 1 for Skyline at the sideline. Number 5 now with it at the close wing. Tries to push it over to number 10 on the far side of the court. Goes out of the court once again. Now 2. Now over to 1 at the midcourt line. Now over to 10 at the far wing. Now over to 5 at the high post. She puts it up for 2, no good. Struggle for the ball. 2 ends up with it. She tries to put it up for 2, no good. Whistle's blown, I believe, on
number 24, Abigail Rodriguez was caught pushing.
Ashley now at the free throw line, putting up her first free throw. First one is up. Bounces off the front of the rim, and it's in. Ashley puts up her second free throw, and it's in. Cougars now with the ball.
Marissa throwing the ball in over to Abigail, making her way back down to the Cougars side. Going to throw it all the way out of bounds on accident. The ball intended for Leela Kenyon.
Skyline now with the ball. Number 2 has it. Dribbling it down to the Thunderbirds side of the court. She'll end up at the close wing. Over to 23 at the mid-court line. Over to 5 at the far wing, passing the 4-minute mark. Now over to number 5 at the high post. She puts it up for 2, and it's good. Cougars ball.
Abby with the ball now, bringing it back to the Cougars side. Going into the far wing. Ball is struggle for the ball.
Thunderbirds end up with it. Number 2 has it, going for a layup. She puts it up for 2, no good. And it rolls out of the court. Whistle is blown.
Number 24, Abigail Rodriguez, was caught slashing.
Ashley's up for another free throw. She puts it up, and it's no good. Bouncing off the front of the rim. Second one's up, and it's in.
Macy will be throwing the ball in now over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin, making her way back down to the Cougars side. Hope's going to throw the ball over to Macy at the low post. Hand it off to Leela, going in for 2, no good.
Fight for the ball, and Thunderbirds get it. Number 5 has it. Dribbling it down, now passing the midcourt line. Now over to 2 at the far wing. Over to 23 at the close wing. Up, she puts it up for 3, no good. Fight for the ball. And a push will be called on Leela Kenyon. And a timeout will be called by Otis-Bison.
Both teams return to the court and get ready to play.
Number 2 shot for the Thunderbirds. Her first 3 throws up, no good. Ashley now putting up her second 3 throw. Bounces off the front of the rim, and it's in. Cougars now with the ball.
Zoe Schmidt throwing the ball in over to Macy. Going to bring it over to number 1, Hope Lumpkin, bringing it back down to the Cougars side of the court. Paul on the court. White number 1 was caught slashing. Hope Lumpkin will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougars. First shot is up. No good.
Cougars dive for the ball. And struggle for it, but it rolls out of the court. Cougars will end up with it.
Number 2, Zoe Schwinn, throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Throwing it over to Marissa Reaver. Marissa's going to find herself near the top of the key. Going to bring it over to Hope Lumpkin, also at the top of the key. Going in to bring it over to Macy at the far wing. Macy's going to throw it in over to Leela. Now over to Marissa. Ball now goes over to Zoe. Struggle for the ball.
And I'll give the Thunderbirds the ball. .23 with the ball, dribbling it down the court. Corey and shot. And shoot, my bad. Now over to 2 at the far wing. She dribbles it in. Over to 23. Now at the close wing. Over to number 2 at the top of the key. Now over to 5 at the high post. Tries to pass it in number 3 at the low post. Looks to be a little bit of some tripping. Now whistle is blown. I'll give the Thunderbirds the ball at the baseline. Thunderbirds throw it in to number 2 at the far wing. Now at the top of the key. Now over to 23 at the far wing. Back over to 2. Now she dribbles it down to the close wing. Over to 23 at the midcourt line. 2-minute warning. Looks like a timeout will be called by the Thunderbirds. With 1:59 left in the fourth quarter. And that will give the Cougars 13 points and Thunderbirds 28.
Both teams make their way back to the court, get ready to play the remainder of the 2 minutes.
Number 2 will end up with the ball at the far wing. She dribbles it up to the top of the key. Over to 23 at the midcourt line. Now over to 2 at the far wing. She brings it up to the top of the key. Back out to the wing. Over to 3 at the far corner. Now over to 5 at the high post. She puts it up for 2. No good. Run for the ball. And the ball will go out of the court, giving the Cougars the ball.
Macy throwing the ball in over to number 2, Zoe Schwint. Back to Macy, making her way back down to the Cougars side of the court. Ball's going to be thrown over to Marissa Reaver. Marissa going in for 2 points. Just barely missing.
And Skyline will get the rebound. 2 has it. Nope, back to the Cougars.
Leela steals it back, bringing it back down to the low post, puts it up for 2, and it's good.
Skyline now with the ball with 1:10 remaining in the match. Number 2 has it at the close wing. Now to 23 at the top of the key. Now over to 5. She brings it into the high post. Back out to 3 at the far wing. That'll be a travel called on the Thunderbirds.
Number 14, Macy Wellesley throwing the ball in over to Hope Lumpkin, bringing it back down to the Cougars side of the court. Ball's going to be now thrown over to Marissa Reaver at the far wing. Going to throw it over to Macy near the top of the key. Back over to Leela at the low post, puts it up for 2, no good.
Struggle for the ball. And a travel is called on the Thunderbirds. That'll give Cougars back the ball.
Number 2, Zoe Schwint throwing the ball in for the Cougars. It's going to be thrown over to Macy. Puts it up for 2, barely missing. Macy rebounds it, trying again, but no good. White, number 2, was caught slashing. Macy will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Cougar team. First shot is up. No good, just barely missing. Macy's second shot is up. Just also barely missing.
That'll be, I believe, a slashing call on Macy Wiltsey. I'll put number 2, Ashley Spencer. Ashley Spence, my bad. Up for some free throws. Ashley putting up her first free throw. Bounces off the front of the rim. No good. She puts up her second free throw, and it's in. Cougars now with the ball.
Number 1, Hope Lumpkin throwing the ball in for the Cougars. Thrown over to Zoe Schwint. Zoe's going to make her way down to the Cougar side with some speed. Going to the high post. Throw it over to the low post where Leila Kenyon is. Put it up for 2. Barely missing. Zoe Schwint with the rebound. Trying to put it up for 2. And is stopped by the Thunderbirds.
Thunderbirds will get a slashing call on them, so that'll give Zoe some shots at the free throw line.
Her first shot is up, just barely missing the basket. She'll have one more opportunity for another point for the Cougars. Second shot is up, no good.
Thunderbirds now have the ball at just about the 20-second mark now. Looks like number 5 will be burning some time off the timer. She dribbles it in, tries to pass out to number 1. Barely, Otis-Bison almost getting the ball. Thunderbirds still trying to burn the clock out. 6 seconds now. 5, 4, 3, and a whistle is called. And that'll give the Cougars the ball. About 4 seconds left on the clock.
Hope Lumpkin throwing the ball in for the Cougars, throwing it over to Grace. Making her way over to the Cougar side. Ball is up. No good. That is the buzzer. Score is for the Thunderbirds is 29, and for the Cougars, 15.
We'll be back shortly after for the boys' game.
the Skyline Thunderbirds. Activity programs at Kiowa High School were primarily for the student participants. We are pleased to host our guest, Otis-Bison at Skyline this afternoon. This competition is being conducted according to the rules of the Kansas State High School Activities Association. Coaches, players, cheerleaders, and spectators are expected to assist in the promotion and achievement of good sportsmanship. And now let's meet today's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Cougars, a 5'10" sophomore, number 1, Jake Huppengarner. For the Thunderbirds, a 5'10" freshman, number 0, Owen Flora. For the Cougars, a 5'6" junior, number 3, Riley Hawley. For the Thunderbirds, a 5'10" senior, number 3, Ryan Miller. For the Cougars, a 5'10" junior, number 11, Easton Juno. For the Thunderbirds, a 5'11" sophomore, number 11, Ishmael Carrasco. For the Cougars, a 5'9" junior, number 15, Hayden Morrison. For the Thunderbirds, a 6' junior, number 14, Isaac Stevenson. And finally, for the Cougars, a 6'2" sophomore, number 21, Logan Meyer. And for the Thunderbirds, a 5'9" junior, number 23, Braden Barons. Cougars will be coached this afternoon by head coach Curtis Little. He will be assisted by Philip Butler. The Thunderbirds will be coached this afternoon by Hayden Turner. He will be assisted by Adam Massey. Good luck to both teams.
Welcome back, everybody, for the second game of the night. Boys Varsity. Up for your Cougars, number 11, Easton Juno for the tip-off.
For the Thunderbirds, you have Isaac Thompson. Number 11, Ishmael Carisco gets the ball, going over to number 3, Ryan. Back over to number 14, Isaac. He's going to throw it over to number 11, Ishmael. Traveling is called on Thunderbirds, throw it over to the Cougars.
Number 1 for Jake takes the ball down the court. Now we're going to see Riley Hawley. He takes it down to the low post. Looking around for some options. Finds number 11. He tries to get up for 2. Real good. Ball rolls out of the court, and that'll be Cougars' ball. Jake got the baseline coming in. 1, Logan Meyer. Now out to number 1 to the far corner. Now to 3 at the far wing. Logan at the low post. He tries to get up for 2. No good. Thunderbirds ball.
Number 14, Isaac Hanson throws it over to number 3, Ryan, going back over to number 11, Carisco. Back over to number 14 now, Isaac. Over to number 0 now, Owen Flora. Over to Ishmael again, going over, back to number 3, Ryan, going into the high post. Gonna put the ball up, good for 2.
Cougars now with the ball. Logan chunking the ball clear now. Riley Hawley at the low post. He puts it up for 2. It's good.
Number 14 goes it in over to number 0, Owen Flora. Back over to number 3, Ryan throws it into the low post. Braden Barons.
Cougars now with the ball. Jake passing it over to number 15. He dribbles it down to the farther side of the court. Now over to Jake at the midcourt line. 15, top of the key, over to the 3 at the bottom. There's the low post, my bad. Ball comes out, gets kicked out of his hand. On the court, Cougars ball. Ball. Easton has passes it up to the top of the key. Now to the 3 at the low post. He puts it out to 15. He puts it up for 3 and it's good.
Number 3, Ryan throws the ball over to number 11.
The other time too.
Carisco,
He did
bring
really
it back
good.
down to the Thunderbird side. Throwing it back over to number 3. Ryan back to Carisco. Going back out to number 23, Braden Burns. Going up to the top of the key. Now high post, now low post. Throwing it back out to number 11, Carisco. Throw up for 3. And it's good.
Check the score, Preston.
Number 11, Carisco with the ball again. He's running back down to the Thunderbird side. Going back over to number 23. Brady going up. Go back down to 14. Over for number 2. It's good. No good. Back out to number 14. Again, put up to 2. No good. The ships and commentators, we have Delano Reaver. Number 14, Isaac Hampson, putting the ball up for his first shot. No good. Number 11, Ishmael Carisco brings the ball back to the Thunderbird side, thrown over to number 3, Ryan Miller at the close corner, going to the low post, back to 14. Isaac puts it up to 2, no good. Number 0, Owen Flora, running them back in, throwing them over to Carisco, going to the top of the key, throwing it over to number 23, Braden, going into the low post. Gonna throw it back out to number 0, Flora. Back to Carisco at the top of the key. Gonna throw it back to Flora, now over to number 3, Ryan at the far corner, going in for 3. Shot's no good.
15, number Hayden. He's gonna rebound. He's gonna give it to Easton now. It's back to Hayden. Not Juno. Jake Hupengardner.
Ball is taken by number 3, Ryan, putting the ball up. Call on the court.
Foul from Jake Hupengardner, looks.
Number 1 for the Cougars was caught holding. Number 23, Braden Burns, throwing the ball in for the Thunderbirds. Ball is in to number 11, Carisco. Now back on to number 23, Braden. Over to Flora at the top of the key, throwing it back over to Carisco at the close wing. Throwing it back over to number 3, Ryan, and there's a call on the court, pushing from number 3, Ryan.
Hayden Morrison, number 15, is going to throw it in. It's going to go over to Jake Hupengardner. He's going to bring it down, give it to Logan, back to Riley. Going to try and shooting, it's not good.
Number 23, Braden with the rebound. He's going to throw it over to Carisco, going into the high post, puts it up for 2, no good.
Logan Meyer hands it off to Jake Hupengardner.
Ball is stolen back. Ryan gets it, puts it up for 3, and it's good.
Hayden Morrison's throwing it into Jake Hupengardner. Back to Hayden Morrison, number 15. Back to Jake Hupengardner. He's going to try to pass it. It's no good.
Ball is stolen by number 14, Hampson, bringing it back down to the Thunderbird side. Over back to Ryan, going to the far wing. Going to throw it into the low post. Back to 14, puts it up for 2, and it's good.
Hayden throws in to Jake Hupengardner, number 1. He's going to try and get it back to Easton.
Braden steals it, going back out to the top of the key. Going to throw it back out to number 3, Ryan, put it up for 3, no good. Carisco rebounds it, throws it over to Flora, puts it up for 2, no good.
Easton Juno had it for a second.
Ball is stolen, Flora going back in, thrown over to number 11, Carisco going back up for 2, no good.
Hey, Morrison throws it in, and it's off of wide. Should be our ball again. We have 2 subs in. Number 13, Landon Blackburn will come in, and number 2, Ethan Graff will come in. And Morrison has the ball. He's going to give it off to Riley Pauley. There is a call. Timeout.
Thunderbirds make their way back to the court and get ready to play, as well do the Cougars. 2 minutes, 37 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Your score is Cougars 12, Thunderbirds 13.
Riley Pauley's going to throw it in. Easton Jr. gets it back to Riley Pauley, number 3. He's going to bring it down court, give it to Lander Blackburn. They're going to try to pass it. It's not good.
Number 10, Isaac House gets the ball, throws over to Ryan, now over to Carisco, trying to, at the low post, puts it up for 2. There was a call on the court. Number 3, Riley Pauley was caught slashing. Number 11, Ishmael Carisco will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for the Thunderbirds. First shot is up, and it is no good.
Otis-Bison has some subs going in.
Second shot is up. No good. Number 10, House with the rebound. He's going to throw it over to
Ethan Graff gets the ball. It's out of bounds.
number 10, Isaac House, throwing the ball in. Throw it over to Ryan Miller at the close wing. He's going to then bring it over to number 10, House at the top of the key. Now over to number 11, Carisco at the far corner. Now to Flora. Now over to House. Back to number 14, Campson. Number 11, Carisco going in for 2. That's from the high post. No good.
Jake Hupinger has it. Looks like number 15, Hayden Morrison. Now it's a jump ball. Otis-Bison won't keep the ball. Jake Hupinger, guard number 1, throws it into Hayden Morrison, and they're just throwing it back at each other. Hayden's gonna drive in, shoot for 2, and it is good.
Number 10, House throws it over to Flora, making his way back down to the Thunderbirds side. Gonna throw it over to number 23, Braden. Gonna throw it back out to House at the top of the key. Going back out to Campson at the low post, going in for 2. And that's good.
Logan Meyer gets the ball, back to Hayden. They're gonna bring it down the court. Over to Landon Blackburn. He has a layup and he's good.
Number 10 will bring the ball back down. Throw it back out to Braden. He's going to put it up for 2. It's no good. House with the rebound. Put it up. And it's no good. Number 11, Carisco with the rebound. Put it up again. No good. Ryan puts it up as well. .47 seconds remaining in the first quarter. Number 23, Braden Burns throwing the ball in. Ball is in over to House at the close wing. Got to throw it over to Braden at the top of the key, going into the high post. Call on the court. Number 2 was caught holding, Ethan Graff. Number 23, Braden Burns throwing the ball in yet again. Throw it over to Ryan, put it up for 3, or for 2, my bad. Yeah, that's good.
Jake Hupinger is going to throw it in, and number 15, Hayden Morrison, is going to bring it down court. Gonna pass it. Now it's back to Graf. He sets it up. It's no good. Thunderbirds take it out, and it's still our ball. Jake Gardner is going to bring it down. He's going to shoot for a 3. It's no good. White rebounds.
Number 3, Ryan running back down with some speed. Going to throw it over to Carisco to put it up for 2. No good.
Jake Gardner gets the ball. He's going to bring it down the court. There's a call on the court. It'll stay our ball. Jake Gardner is going to throw it in from the sideline. To Logan Meyer, down to Ethan Graf. He's going to have a layup, but it's no good. And that is the end of the first quarter. 17 as the Thunderbirds, and then 16 as Cougars. Both teams return to the court. We're going to start our second quarter with Hayden Morrison, number 15, throwing it in. Down to Jake Gardner, back to Hayden Morrison. Then pass down to number 11, Easton Juno, back to Hayden. Then pass to Easton Juno. He's going to go up for a layup. It is no good. Easton Juno does get fouled. He has a chance for a shot.
That was on white, number 23, Braden Burns.
His first shot is no good. Second shot is also no good. White rebounds.
Ryan with the ball. He's going to throw it over to Carisco, bring it back to the top of the key where Ryan is going to run in at the low post, put it up for 2. No good.
Ethan Graf gets the ball. Down to Jake Gardner to Hayden Morrison, number 15. He's going to begin it down the court on the far side. Then throw it to Jake Gardner. Down to Ethan Graf, and he's going to try for a 3. It's no good. White rebounds.
Number 11, Carisco with the ball going at the low post, put it up.
Ethan Graf gets the ball back to Jake Gardner. There is a call. There's a foul. Jake Gardner will bring the court, or bring the ball down to Easton Juno. It's no good. Down to White.
Carisco brings it over to Ryan, back over to House. He saves the ball, hits the borderline. Turn over to the Cougars.
Jake Gardner is going to throw it in. Down to Hayden Morrison, number 15. He's going to pass back to Jake Gardner, number 1, to Hayden Morrison again. Down to 11, Easton Juno. Over to 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to try to throw it down, but White gets it.
Ball is stolen by Braden. He's going to throw it over Flora. Back over to number 3, Ryan. We'll throw it back to Braden. Back over to Ryan at the far wing. Going to throw it in over to number 14, Tampson.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison gets the ball. You have subs going in. Number 3, Riley Pauly, and number 13, Lander Blackburn, get on the court. Okay, after that mix-up, our team, Otis-Bison, is going to throw it in. Number 2, Ethan Graff to Hayden Morrison. Number 15, back to Graff. Back to Hayden Morrison, down the court. He's going to throw it to number 13, Lander Blackburn, to 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to drive. Is no good. The other team looks like it might get... Oh, okay. It's thrown back to Easton, to Riley Pauly, number 3. He's going to drive, maybe? No. Lander Blackburn's going to go across the court to Hayden Morrison, number 15. For a 3, it is no good. Hayden Morrison's going to give it to Riley Pauly at the top of the key. Going to give it to the wing, number 2, Ethan Graff. He's going to bring it up. It's going to go off White's shoe. Now there's a double dribble. Be turnover.
Number 14, Tampson throws the ball over to number 3, Ryan, bringing it back down to the Thunderbird side. Back over to Tampson at the top of the key. They're going to the high post now. Going to throw it over to Flora, going at the... Oh, going to throw it back over to number 23, Braden, going at the low post. Call on the court. Number 23, Braden throws the ball in to number 3, Ryan. Ball is good.
One, Jake Hugengar is going to throw it to number 3, Riley Pauly, who brings it down the court on the left side. Easton's going to throw it to someone. It hits off White and goes to number 15, Hayden Morrison. Riley Pauly is going to try and shoot a 3. It's overshot.
Braden gets the ball. He's going to bring it over to Ryan, putting it back over to the Thunderbird side. Going to throw it back to Braden at the top of the key. Now over to Flora at the close wing. Over to number 14, Tampson at the low key.
Easton Jr., number 11, gives the ball to Hayden Morrison, number 15. He's going to bring it down on the right side to the left now. He's going to pass to Easton Jr., to Jake Hugengar, to Lander Blackburn, who's going to try and do a layup, but it's no good.
Number 23, Braden, will be throwing the ball in. Ball goes over to Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. At the top of the key, he's going to throw it over to Tampson at the low key, put it up, and good.
Number 3, Riley Pauly passes it in to number 1, Jake Hugengar, back to Riley Pauly. He's going to fake, pass it to Easton Juno, and he's going to try for a 3. It's no good, rebounded by White.
Number 3, Ryan, throw it up. Going to put the ball up, and it's no good.
Riley Pauly's going to throw it in. Number 2 is going to give it to number 11, Easton Juno. To Riley Pauly. He's going to pass it back to Easton Juno, number 11. He's going to drive in and let's go to the ball. It'll stay as Otis's ball. Jake Gardner, number 1, will throw in. Number 11, Easton Jr. will get it back to Ethan Graff, number 2. He's going to bounce pass in to the paint. It is no good. White rebound.
Braden having the ball, bring it back to the Thunderbird side, going at the high post. Going down to low post now. Call on the court. Number 23, Braden was caught controlling.
Number 21, Logan Myers going to go in for number 13, Lander Blackburn. Riley Pauly, number 3, is going to throw it in. He's going to throw it into number 1, Jake Hugengar, who's going to bring it down the court. He's going to pass to 11, back to 21, to 11, to number 1, 11. He's going to drive in. He's going to look for the basket and he's going to shoot. Number 2, Ethan Graff rebounds. It is good for 2 points.
Number 14, Tamsin throws it over to number 3, Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Back over to Tamsin at the top of the key now. High post is where he is. Throwing it back out to Ryan at the far wing, going up for 3, and it's good.
Number 2, Ethan Graff throws it into number 3, Riley Paul. He's going to bring it down the court. He's going to pass it to number 11, Easton Jr., who's going to drive and shoot. The shot is no good. He's going to rebound, but it is out of bounds back to the white team.
Number 13, or number 3, Ryan will be bringing the ball back to the Thunderbird side. Down back to Tamsin at the top of the key. Going to bring it over to Ryan at the close wing. Back over to Flora at the top of the key. Back to Ryan going in for 3 points, and it's good for another 3.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison's going to throw it in number 2, Ethan Graff. He's going to pass back to number 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to throw it to number 11, Easton Jr., back to 15. He's going to dribble around, looking for someone. He gets it to Logan Meyer, 21, to number 1, Jake Kupengar. Shoots for 3, it is no good. Rebounded by White.
Number 3, Ryan running the ball back down, going in for another 3 points, and it's good.
Number 2, Ethan Graff throws it into Jake Kupengar. Number 1 to 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to go down the court. Spin move. Back to Ethan Graff. He's going to give it to Easton, to Hayden Morrison, to Jake Kupengar. He's going to shoot for 3. It's no good. White rebounds.
Ball is thrown over to number 3, Flora. Number 2, actually.
Jake Kupengar rebounds. He's going to bring it down the court on the far side. Over to Hayden Morrison. He goes out of bounds with 1 foot, so it's a turnover. There's a timeout. Thunderbirds are going to return to the court. Now Otis-Bison returns to the court, ready for the second. No, it'll be 1 minute and 43 seconds left on the second quarter.
Number 2, Jordan House throws the ball in over to Zach, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Now over to Flora. Back to number 14, Hampson. Over to Ryan going in for 3, but no
Number
good.
15, Leonard Blackburn rebounds and gives it to Jake Kupengar, number 1. He's going to take it down the court. He's going to try passing to Logan Meyer, 21, but he doesn't get it. It's out of bounds. Out of bounds. White's going to throw it in.
Number 14, Tamsin throws it over to number 3, Ryan. Now over to Flora at the far wing, going over to the House throwing it over back to number 3, Ryan. At the low post, but up for 2. No good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison's going to rebound the ball. Going to give it to number 13, Leonard Blackburn, who takes it down the court. Passes back to Hayden Morrison. He's going to pass to number 1, Jake Kupengar, who passes 21 in the paint. It's good for a layup. Another 2 points with Cougars.
Ryan throws it over to Flora. Back to Ryan. He's going to throw it over to Jordan. Going to throw it now over to back to Isaac. Number 14.
Number 2, Ethan Graff rebounds. He's going to pass to... No, he's going to take it out in the court. It looks like he was going to pass for a second there. He's going to pass now to Hayden Morrison, number 15, who takes it down. Has a jump shot. And it is good for another 2 points on the Cougars.
Ryan having the ball. He's going to bring it back down to the Thunderbird side. Going in from the low post. Puts it up. No good.
Number 2, Ethan Graff rebounds. He's going to give it to Hayden Morrison, number 15. He's going to pass to number 21, Logan Meyer. He's going to take it down. Pass to number 1, Jake Gardner. Passes to number 2, Ethan Graff. Bounce pass to the inside, Landon Blackburn. He tries to put it up, but it's no good.
Ryan going to swing the ball way down to the other side, trying to put it in, but no good. That is the buzzer. Your final score is for the first half is 30 Thunderbirds, 22 Cougars. Alrighty, everyone, welcome back to the broadcast. You got number 3, Ryan with the ball. He's going to throw it back over to Brandon, back over to Ryan, going in for 3 from the top of the key, which is good for 3 points.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison's going to throw it in to Jake Gardner over to Riley Pauly, number 3. He's going to look around for a person to pass to. Number 21, Logan Meyer gets the ball. He's going to pass to Riley Pauly, pass to Jake Gardner over to 15, Hayden Morrison over to 3, Riley Pauly. He's going to shoot. It's good for 2 points.
Number 0 with the ball. Flora running back down to the Thunderbird side, throwing over to Carisco. Now back to Brandon, going throw it back out to Carisco going in at the high post, going in for 2, and it's good.
Number 21, Logan Meyer's going to throw it in to number 3, Riley Pauly. It is too high, and he doesn't catch it. It's out of bounds. Back to White, Thunderbirds.
Number 11, Carisco, will be throwing the ball in. Throws the ball over to Flora, back over to Ryan. He's going to head to the top of the key and try to find his options. Going to throw it over to Flora. Back out to Braden. He's going to go in for the mid post, going in for 2, and it's good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison throws it into Jake Gardner. Over back. They're going to just keep passing to each other. Hayden Morrison's going to try driving in. He's going to jump shot. It's no good. It's going to be a turnover.
Number 11, Hampson throws the ball over to number 3, Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Back out to number 14, Hampson at the top of the key. Going to throw it over to Flora near the close wing. Back out to number 3, Ryan at the far wing. Going to throw over to Carisco at the top of the key. High post now. Going to throw over to Flora. Call on the court. Number 15, Hayden got the call. Number 23, Braden Burns will be throwing the ball in to number 11, Ishmael Carisco. Going to throw it back out to Braden at the top of the key, going in for 3, no good.
Number 11, Easton Jr. rebounds. He's going to pass to number 15, Hayden Morrison, over back to Easton Jr. to number 1, Jake Gardner, to number 3, Riley Pauly. It is out on White, back to our ball. Number 3, Riley Pauly is going to throw it in. He's going to pass to number 15 back to Riley Pauly, number 3. He's going to fake a shot. He's going to give it back to number 15, Hayden Morrison. It goes back to Riley Pauly. He's going to drive in for layup. It is no good.
Number 23, Braden Burns having the ball now. He's going to run back down to the Thunderbird side, hand it off to Flora, going to the top of the key. Now the high post, throwing it down.
21's going to give it back to Jake Gardner over to 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to go back down the court. He loses the ball for a second. He picks it back up. Passes to number 3, Riley Pauly. He's going to try driving. It is no good and turnover.
Flora gets it down to Ryan, put it up for 2, and it's good.
Number 11, Easton Jr. is going to throw it in to number 3, Riley Pauly, who takes it down the court. He's going to fake a shot, pass it back to Easton Jr., number 11. Pass to Riley Pauly, who passes to 21. Tries passing it to Jake Gardner, no good.
Number 3, Ryan having the ball. He's going to hand it off over to number 0, Flora, going in for the high post. Going to throw it back out to Braden, going in for 3. No good. Number 14, Tampson gets it up. No good. Call on the court.
Otis-Bison will have some subs coming in.
23, Braden Burns throwing the ball in to number 11, Ishmael Carisco. Call on the court. Number 15, Hayden Morrison was caught pushing. Number 11, Carisco will have the opportunity for a point or two for the Thunderbirds. First shot is up, and it is good for a Thunderbird point. Second shot is up, and it's good for the second point.
Number 2, Ethan Graff is going to pass it in to number 3, Riley Pauly, who brings it down court. Then go to the other side. Pass it to Jake Hugengartner. He's going to try driving in. Passes it to Hayden Morrison, number 15, but it's too far. Is a turnover. Actually, White hit it, so it'll stay as Cougars. Number 1, Jake Hugengartner is going to pass it in. Too much time was gone by, so it's going to be a turnover.
Number 14, Hampson throws the ball in over to number 3, Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Find himself near the top of the key, going to throw over to Braden. Now he's going to hit the top of the key. Going to throw it back out to number 11, Carisco, put it up for 2, and it's good.
Number 1, Jake Hugengartner is going to pass it in to number 3, Riley Pauly, who takes it down the court. He's going to go to the other side of the court on the far side. Going to try passing. Looks like backcourt call. I'm not sure.
Timeout is called on the Cougars. Full timeout. Thunderbirds return to the court and get ready to play, as well do the Cougars. 3 minutes, 55 seconds remaining in the third quarter. Braden throws the ball in over to Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Going to throw it over to Carisco at the close wing. Now over to Braden at the top of the key. Now over to Flora. Now back over to Ryan at the far wing. Ryan's going to make his way over to Flora at the top of the key. Now throwing it back out to Carisco, going also to the top of the key. A little bit of stumble on the court. Ryan going in for 2, and it's good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison's going to pass it into number 1, Jake Hugengartner. Back to Hayden. He's going to drive in. He's going to bounce past to number 13, Elena Blackburn, who tries to shoot it up. It looks like there's going to be a foul. 2 shots. First shot is good. Second shot is no good. Rebounded by White.
Number 11, Carisco, bring the ball back down to Thunderbird's side. He's going to throw it over to 0, Flora. Going in for 3, no good.
Ethan Graff, number 2, rebounds. There's a foul. Thunderbirds foul, so it'll remain as Otis-Bison's ball. Hayden Morrison throws it into number 2, Ethan Graff, goes into 11. Back to 3, Riley Pauly, who's going to take it down in the court. Then pass number 15, Hayden Morrison. He tries to drive. Goes to 21, Logan, but the other team gets it. The jump ball. Number 15, Hayden Morrison is going to pass it in for Otis-Bison Cougars. Over to Ethan Graff, number 2. He's going to bring it down the court. He's going to try and pass. I'm not sure who he was passing to, but he tried. It did not go in his favor.
Number 14, Hampson throws it over to Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Found himself near the top of the key. Going to bring the ball over for 3 points. No good. Number 10, House with the rebound. Ball goes out of bounds. It will remain with the Thunderbirds. Hampson throwing the ball back in. Going to throw it over to Ryan. Now back over to Isaac House. Going to put it up for 2. No good. Carisco put it up for 2 as well. No good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison is going to pass in. Number 1, Jake Kupengarten will receive that pass back to Hayden Morrison. He's going to bring it down back to Jake Kupengarten, over to Hayden. He's going to go for a 3. It's barely off. White rebounds.
Number 14 going to make his way back down. Throws it out of bounds. Few minutes, 8 seconds remaining in the third quarter.
Number 13, Elena Blackburn. Number 3, Riley Pauly will go in. Number 15, Hayden Morrison will throw the ball in. Number 3, Riley Pauly receives that pass. He's going to pass back to Hayden Morrison. He's going to bring it back down the court over to Jake Kupengarten. To Logan Meyer to Lander. He's going to rebound. It's out on wide. It'll stay Cougars ball. Jake Kupengarten is going to pass into number 13, Lander Blackburn. He's going to try and save the ball, but he's out of bounds. It'll go over to White.
Number 11, Carisco throws the ball over to Ryan, making his way back down to the Thunderbirds side with a nice slow walk. Going to bring it to the top of the key. Now going to the high post. Throwing it down to Thompson. Back down to Carisco, putting it up for 2. No good. He rebounds it, throwing it back out to Thompson. Going to throw it back out to Carisco. Back to the high post and struggle for the ball.
Number 3, Riley Pauly receives that. He's going to throw it over to Hayden Morrison. Number 15, he's going to bring it down on the Cougar side. He's going to try and pass, but it's no good. Off of White, it'll stay Cougars ball. Number 1, Jake Kupengarten is going to pass it in. Actually, there is a halftime out. Both teams return to the court. Number 1, Jake Kupengarten is going to throw it into number 13, Lander Blackburn, over to 15, Hayden Morrison to 3, Riley Pauly to Jake. He's going to try and go in for the paint, but it's no good. It's going to be back to White.
Number 14, Thompson throws it over to number 3, Ryan Miller, making his way back down to the Thunderbirds side. Back over to Thompson at the top of the key. He's going to bring it over to number 0, Flora. Back out to Carisco. Going to bring it over to number 3, Ryan at the top, at the high post. Now back up to the low post where number number 3, Ryan puts it up, and it's good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison throws it in to Jake Hoopengard. He's going to bring it down, pass it to Logan Meyer. He's going to try passing to number 13, but it's off of White. It's a jump ball over to White's Thunderbirds.
Ryan gets the ball. He's going to bring it back down to the Thunderbirds side with a slow walk. Going to speed it up just a little bit. Throwing it back out to Flora. Back out to Ryan at the top of the key. Also, we're going to throw it back out to Carisco. Back out to Flora at the top of the key. Going in for 3 points. No good. Ball goes out of bounds, and it will remain with the Thunderbirds. Number 10, Isaac House throwing the ball back in. Back out to number 14, Tamsin at the close wing, going in for 3, no good.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison rebounds. He's going to try and go up for a layup. The other team, the Thunderbirds, hits the ball out. Number 1, Jake Hoopengard is going to throw it in. Going to go off of Orange, the Cougars, and go back to the Thunderbirds side.
Number 14, Tamsin throws it in. Back to number 1, Ryan, making his way back down to the other side. Ryan's going in for the 3 points. No good. That is the buzzer. Your score is for the Thunderbirds, 47, and for the Cougars, 25. Be back in about 1 minute for the final quarter of the game.
He'll return to the court. Otis-Bison Cougars will also return to the court. Number 1, Jake Hoopengard is going to throw it in. He's going to throw it in to Riley Pauly. He's going to bring it down the court. Back over to Jake Hoopengard. Throw it to 21. Over to 15. He's going to try for a shot, but there's a foul. Number 15, Hayden Morrison will get 2 shots. First shot is no good. The second shot is also no good. White rebounds.
Kursko with the ball now. He's going to bring it back down to the Thunderbird side. Throw it back out to number 10, Isaac House. Throw it out to Tamsin. Now put it up. No good.
Number 3, Riley Pauly will receive the ball. That was a crazy mix-up, but 21, Logan Meyer tried putting it up. Is no good.
Number 14, Isaac Tamsin was caught blocking.
Number 21, Logan Meyer will have 2 shots. First shot is good. The second shot is no good. There'll be another foul. Thunderbirds will get that ball.
Number 14, Hampson will be throwing the ball in to number 11, Ishmael Carisco. Carisco making his way back down to the Thunderbirds side. Gonna throw it over to Hampson at the top of the key. Now back out to Brandon at the far wing. Brandon gonna try to find his options. Gonna bring it over to hand it off to number 11, Carisco. Going up, call on the court. Number 11, Carisco was caught by the call.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison, was on the ground. Thunderbirds will have some subs going, and number 1, Jake Hoopengartner, is going to throw in to Hayden Morrison, number 15. He's going to bring it down, and over to Jake Hoopengartner, over to 11, Easton Gino, back to Jake Hoopengartner. He's going to shoot for 3, is no good. Lander Blackburn rebounds. It looks like it might be a foul in two shots. Yes, it'll be 2 shots for Lander Blackburn. First shot is no good. Second shot is also no good.
Flora with the rebound. He's going to get it over to Brandon. He's going to bring it back down to the Thunderbird side. He's going to throw it over to Tampson out the low post. Put it up for 2. No good. But there is a call on the court. Number 15, Hayden Morrison. Got the call.
They're cleaning the court. It might have got a little slick. That happens sometimes. And then you slip and it does not feel too good. Especially when you're trying to shoot.
Ball is up and it's no good. Not enough. It is good. Second shot is up and it's no good.
Number 1, Jake Hoopengartner will throw it in for the Cougars. Number 3, Riley Pauly will throw it back to Jake Hoopengartner over to 11, Easton Jono. He's going to try passing it to Hayden Morrison, but it's not good. It is out on white, so it will remain in Cougars ball. Riley Pauly, number 3, will throw it in. And bounce pass to Hayden Morrison at the bottom of the wing. He's going to give it back to Riley Pauly at the very top of the court. Over to 11. And back to 1. He tries to shoot, is no good. Number 11, Easton Juno, rebounds, gets it to Hayden Morrison over to Riley Pauly. There's a lot of stuff that just happened there.
Ball goes to number 23, Brandon. He's going to make his way back down to the Thunderbird side on the far side of the court. He's going to throw it over to number 14, Tampson, where he's located near the low post. Back out to number 3, Ryan. He's going to throw it down to Isaac Howes. Put it up for 2. No good.
Number 1, Jake Hoopengartner will receive the ball. There is an injured player on the other side, so I'm not sure why they're not calling that. Yeah, that should have been called a bit ago.
Player makes a full recovery.
They're cleaning the court again. Almost the same exact spot. So maybe he slipped. I'm not sure. But hopefully he has a nice speedy recovery. And he'll be healthy. Okay, number 1, Jake Hubengartner is going to throw it in for the Cougars. He's going to go over to number 3, Riley Paul. He's going to bring it down. He's going to pass to number 25, Kelson Gino, over to 1, Jake Hubengartner to 21, over to 3. Riley Paul, he's going to dribble around for it, but he's going to shoot a 3. It is good.
Number 3, Ryan Miller making his way back down to the other side of the court. Going to bring it to the top of the key. Going over to Brandon Burns. Back out to number 2. Back out to Isaac House. Put it up for 2. No good. Rebounds it. Trying to put it up again. No good. Call on the court. Isaac House will have the opportunity for a point for his team. First shot is up. No good. He'll have one more opportunity. One more shot for another point. Hopefully for another point for his team. Second shot is up. And it is no good. Number 3, Ryan with the rebound. He's going to go in. Throw it out to Isaac House. Back out to Flora. Out to Brandon going in for 3. No good. Isaac House with the rebound yet again. Tries to put it up. No good. It goes out of bounds. And it will remain with the Thunderbirds. Ryan throws the ball into Isaac. Back out to Ryan at the close corner. Going in for 3, and it's good.
Number 15, Hayden Morton, is going to pass it in to Riley Pauly. He's going to bring it down the court. He's going to drive in, try and shoot. The ball goes off someone's foot, I think.
Ryan gets the ball. He's going to put it up for 2, and it's good for 2.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to pass it in to 21, Logan Meyer. Back to 15, Hayden Morrison. He's going to bring it down a little bit. He's going to go to the left side, give it to Riley Pauly. He's going to fake a shot, and then he's going to drive. And it is good for 2 points.
Number 3, Ryan with the ball. He's going to make his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Going to throw it over to Isaac near the top of the key and back out to number 2, Jordan. Back out the floor. Now Brandon going in for 3 from the far corner.
Number 25, Kelson Jr. tries to rebound, but it goes back to Hayden Morrison. Over to Jake Hupengarden. He's going to bring it down. He's going to try driving. It gets passed over to Logan Meyer, 21. It is good. I don't know if those points will actually count. It doesn't look like it. There are some subs for Otis-Bison coming in. And some subs for the Thunderbirds.
Number 10, Isaac House throws the ball in to number 11, Carisco. Back out to number 5, Alex. Alex is going to throw it out to number 2, Jordan. Number 2, Jordan House will have the opportunity for a point or 2 for his team.
Number 1, Jake Hupengarden had a foul.
Ball is up. Shot is no good.
Ethan Graff rebounds. He's going to pass to Jake Hupengarden. He's going to look for a pass, which is Hayden Morrison. He's going to take it down. Nice little pass to Jake Hupengarden. He's going to bring it down. Back up to Hayden Morrison. He's going to try driving. He's going to pass back to Jake Hupengarden. The pass, I don't know what just happened, but they were on the ground and some crazy stuff happened.
Number 11, Ishmael Carisco was caught traveling as soon as when he caught the ball.
Number 15, Hayden Morrison, is going to throw in for the Cougars. Over to number 1, Jake Hupengarden. He's going to bring it down. He's going to pass to Lewis McVeigh, number 24. Hayden Morrison's going to try shooting. Then number 2, Ethan Graff rebounds, and it's good.
Number 11, Carisco having the ball. Going to throw it over to Isaac. Put it up for 2 and no good. goes out of bounds against the Cougars. It will remain with the Thunderbirds. Number 2, Jordan House throwing the ball in. Out to Flora, making his way to the high post. Put it up for 2. No good. Jordan with the rebound. Going to try to put it up as well. No good.
Number 24, Lewis McVeigh passes to number 15, Hayden Morrison, who brings it down the court. He need to pass to number 1, Jake Hugengartner. He's going to try for 2, and it is good for another 2 points on the Cougars, which leaves us with 35 points.
Crisco having the ball now, making his way back down to the Thunderbird side at the high key. Going to throw it out to Jordan. Now back out to number 5, Alex. Traveling is called on Flora. Turned over to the Cougars.
Number 2, Ethan Graff is going to pass it in, or throw it in, from the far sideline for the Cougars. And there was a substitution. Number 1 passes to number 15, Hayden Morrison. Over 24, Lewis McVeigh. He's going to fake a shot and pass to number 25, which is no good for a shot. Number 2, Ethan Graff brings it back out. He's going to pass to number 25 back in the paint. The point is no good. There is a call. I'm not sure what the call is, but there's a call. Oh, there's a foul. Okay. So it looks like 2 shots, maybe.
Number 10, Clayton shoots the ball.
Jump ball. Otis-Bison, number 13, Laner Blackburn will come in for number 15, Hayden Morrison.
Flora throws the ball in over to Jordan. Back out to Flora. He's going to throw it back out to Alex at the top of the key. Ball almost crosses the center line. Going to throw it back out to number 25, Caden Carson. Put it up for 3. No good. Ball on the court.
There will be 2 shots.
Number 2, Jordan House has the opportunity for 2 points. First shot is up. No good.
Number 21, Logan Meyer, will go in for a substitution. They'll go in for number 2, Ethan Graff, for the Otis-Bison Cougars.
A minute 54 remaining in the fourth quarter. Second shot is up, and it is no good.
Number 25, Kelson Jr. rebounds. He's going to pass number 1, Jake Hugengartner, over to 13, over to 21. There we go. Lewis McVeigh is going to try and shoot. He's going to have 2 shots for a foul. First shot is no good. Second shot is also no good. White rebounds.
Caden with the ball now. He's going to make his way back down to the Thunderbird side. Throw it over to Jordan. Back out to the Isaac House. Put it up for 2, and it's good.
Number 24, Lewis McVeigh is going to pass it in to 25, Kelson Jr. over to number 1, Jake Hugengartner. He's going to bring it down the court. He's going to look for a pass to 21 at the high post, over to the low, and back to the high post. Logan Meyer. Number 1, Jake's going to rebound over to 21. He's also going to rebound over to White again.
Number 0, Flora, having the ball. He's going to bring it back down to the top of the key. Back out to Isaac House. Now over to Caden at the... Now back to Flora at the top of at the far...
Number 24 gets the ball. Lewis McVeigh, he's going to pass to 21. Logan Meyer over to 25, over to 13. He's going to drive. Laner tries to shoot. It is no good. It'll stay as a Cougars ball. Number 1, Jake Gardner is going to pass in for the Otis-Bison Cougars. 21, Logan Meyer gets the ball. He's going to pass over 25. Helson Gino, he's going to go in for the paint. 24. He's going to try and passing. 21 gets the ball. It is out of bounds by foot. So it'll turn over to the white team.
0 with the ball now. Flora making his way back down to the other side. 30 seconds remaining. Back out to number 5, Alex. Back to Flora. Now over to Isaac at the top of the key. Over to Caden. Back to Isaac. Back out to number 5, Alex. Thunderbirds are just passing the ball around to buy time. Back to Isaac. Now to Flora. Back to Alex once again. Flora's going to hold the ball back. And that is, they ran the timeout. Your final score is 55 Thunderbirds, 35 Cougars.
I think that was the most peaceful ending of a game I've ever seen.
Both teams played really well tonight, both guys and the girls.